يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا.
The Genocide Initiative. We, the undersigned, call upon all political powers, beyond all questions of political affiliation, and in the true spirit of human solidarity and decency, to categorize the crimes being committed by ISIS and other Takfiri terrorists against Christians, Twelver Shiites, Ismailis, Alawis, Sufis, traditional Sunnis, and others as acts of religious, cultural, and ethnic genocide. Before ISIS, all religious denominations stand in the line of fire. Christians and Muslims know only too well the bitterness and despair of a life spent under the ominous flag of Takfirism, a heretical perversion of Islam, also known as Wahhabism, which reared its hideous head a mere 2 centuries ago. Evil has a new face, and it is Takfirism. Doing nothing while millions of lives are at risk is tantamount to murder. We owe it to our children to carry on this fight so as to prevent the shadow of our shameful inaction from falling on future generations. Before the threat of Wahhabi-inspired radicalism, the world can no longer afford to stand on the sidelines. The enemy needs to be engaged on all fronts, ideologically, through the denunciation of its nefarious dogma, religiously, through the coming together of people of all faiths, politically, militarily, financially. Everything conceivable must be done, and no effort should be spared. We demand that local, regional, and international powers act decisively to neutralize ISIS and other Takfiri terrorists by cutting off their legs from under them, systematically dismantling their networks, whether financial, political, or religious. While we remain committed to peace, local populations have the right to defend themselves, and we have a duty of care towards them. Therefore, concerted efforts, in keeping with international and territorial sovereignty, should be made to combat this evil by all means necessary. We urge political and economic powers to freeze all bank accounts of ISIS and other Takfiri terrorists, to seize their assets, and to prosecute any and all who provide material support to genocidalist war criminals. We further urge these powers to do all they can to determine how the black market trade in oil, drugs, arms, art treasures, and enslaved human beings that ISIS and other Takfiri groups rely upon to fund their efforts can be interrupted and brought to a halt, and how anyone involved in any aspect of this trade as either seller or buyer can be prosecuted under existing laws. We challenge all international organizations, human rights groups, intelligence agencies, national security agencies, law enforcement agencies, and military forces to coordinate their efforts to locate, arrest, indict, try, and convict any and all parties responsible for supporting ISIS and other Takfiri terrorists in any form or fashion, including, but not limited to, financial, military, strategic, political, or ideological assistance. We call upon members of the legal profession to determine how the perpetrators of these crimes can be indicted under existing laws, including, but not limited to, those against criminal conspiracy, hate speech, and providing aid to the enemy in time of war. Finally, we demand that any and all parties who have supported ISIS and other Takfiri groups in any form or fashion be labeled as war criminals guilty of genocide.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين.